tired of being sick and tired, that's when something changes. And we all have the ability to do it. We just have to decide. And then you got to believe in yourself and then just keep trying.
Preach. Chris is a best-selling author and host of The Chris Hogan Show, and he's giving practical money advice on retirement, investing, and helping people achieve millionaire status. Where do I sign up, Mr. Chris? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you and to share this information with the people.
I love it, and I do feel like you are at the pulpit preaching to us, but in the very best way, preaching with us, not at us. We're coming off of the holidays. So many people rack up debt over the holiday. And then with COVID, there's some folks that put more stuff on their credit card than in past years, maybe more than they'd like to admit. So how do we break this cycle?
Well, listen, everyone loves a fresh start, and the new year's a great opportunity to be able to do that. According to a recent survey, 73% of Americans have a New Year's resolution that centers around money. And guess what number one is? It's getting out of debt. So I want to share with you 5 tips that you can take control of money and get out of debt for sure.
All right. Well, let's get to one of them first, please, because we're all waiting on bated breath.
Yes. So number one is I want you to decide to get out of debt for good. I mean, that means you're not taking on any more debt for any reason. The new year's a great time for a fresh start. So what you're going to do is cut up those credit cards and say, never again. Never again am I going to use something or use money to spend that I don't have. So I'm not going into further debt.
Right.
Tip number 2 is to use the approach that we've used here at Ramsey Solutions for over 20 years, and that's called the debt snowball approach. What you're going to do is simply sit down and list out all of your debts. And what you're going to do is you're going to start attacking the little one first while making minimum payments on everything else. And so as you pay off one, you're going to move down that extra money to paying the next one in size. So regardless of interest rate, you're going to attack it smallest to biggest.
Interesting,
okay?
because I would think that you want to attack the one with the biggest interest rate because that one will accrue more money over time. But you say no. Why is that?
Well, most people would think that, and the reality is getting out of debt's not about math, it's about momentum. And so once you attack the smallest one, what you do is prove to yourself you can do this. And so you actually gain confidence throughout the process. And so don't go by interest rate, go smallest to biggest. I'm telling you, I did it myself and it works.
I think that psychological approach actually will help a lot of folks, including yours truly. We say this all the time, make a plan. I can tell you I have a white notebook. It's a spiral notebook that I bought at Stop & Shop for 99 cents, but it's where I put all my monthly stuff. Now that might be excessive or extra, but what are some other plans that people can do as they budget out their money?
Well, I love the fact that you are writing stuff down and being in control because that's the next tip. Tip number 3 is to make a plan for your money. And what I mean by that is make a budget. Now, a lot of people hear the budget word and they think, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. No, a budget actually gives you control over your money because you're telling it where to go. So when I'm talking about a zero-based budget, what I mean is we're giving every dollar a place to go. So it's all of your income minus expenses should equal 0. You work hard for your money, so now it's time to make your money to work hard for you. Now, making a budget can take about 3 months, so give yourself some grace. And we've got one of the best budgeting tools on the planet. It's called EveryDollar. So go to everydollar.com and you can learn more about how to begin to budget.
EveryDollar. I like that one. This one is particularly important. Learn to say no. I say no to my children all the time, so this should be a no-brainer.
Well, absolutely. I say no to my boys all the time. But listen, no is a complete sentence. But what we have to do is learn to say no not only to ourselves, but to others. Don't be jealous of what other people have, and don't let other people cause you to spend money you don't have. And so if they're trying to go do something and you don't have the money, just simply say no. That's not something I'm doing right now, or I'm trying to clean up my finances. I can't do that now. And when you do that and you start to practice that no muscle, you gain more confidence and commitment to the plan that you're working.
And I think in addition to the no is the sacrifices. So cutting some of the fat from our budgets. I had a 1-year free trial to a streaming service, and January 1 came up and I was like, well, that was fun, and got rid of it because I know that's extra money in my pocket.
See, that's a great tip. That's actually one of the things I'm talking about. So in making sacrifices, it's not going to feel fun at the moment, but what's going to happen is you're going to gain confidence. So look at the streaming services, look at the subscription services that you're not using right now, and begin to cut those things out. You'll find those little dollar amounts will really add up, and that will allow you to send that money toward the debt. And here's another tip. Sell some stuff that you don't need. We all have stuff laying around in our garages and in our attics and in our closets. Let's sell that and actively use that money toward attacking the debt.
I love that. Chris, I want to bring in my teammates. We always say we wish we could meet you in person. I'm actually glad you're not here today simply because one of my co-hosts is working with apple cider vinegar right now. Yeah. And we have freed you from this, but any questions?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Please.
I'm sorry to take a... first question, Chris, would be, when you're buying things and you have a credit card with points, do you use that credit card versus your debit card where you know the money already is?
I definitely tell people to always use a debit card. I actually do not have a credit card. I want people to cut up the credit cards and pay them off. Those point systems are a farce. Yeah. What it does is it gives you this false sense that you're gaining something, but you're really not. You're just paying interest. So get rid of the credit cards and just go with cash.
Wait a second. If you pay off your credit card monthly in full, those points are money in your pocket.
You know, only 2% of people actually pay off their credit cards each and every month. And so what I found in talking to people all over the country is that they think that and believe it. But in reality, when you start to do the math on the interest that you're paying, but especially around the holidays, you know, the average person spends around $1,100 to $1,200 on a credit card, and the average balance is over $5,000. So most people aren't paying it off. So I tell people to avoid them.
And Chris, lastly, before we let you go, can you do me a favor? Can you repeat after me? You're watching the #1 morning show in New York City, the Pix 11 Morning News.
Here you go. You're watching the #1 morning show in WPIX 11.
Yes. There you go.
Yes. You're not charging for that, right?
Now say, hey girl, you know I love you so much.
Chris Hogan, thank you so much for your wisdom and your energy, and you can always catch him on the Chris Hogan Show. Can't wait to do this again.
Yes, and that
Thank you
voice.
guys.
Yeah.